15 Mindfuck psychological thrillers on Netflix that will make you question your sanity. Netflix is a gift that keeps on giving. For the purpose of this article, we are going to assume that the said gifts are psychological thrillers. And Netflix has a shit ton of them. Don't take my word. Just go through the list, pick one and give it a go. Find out for yourself. 1. The Alienist. John Moore, a newspaper illustrator, meets a criminal psychologist, Dr. Laszlo Chrysler, for the investigation of a serial killer in 19th century New York. The show has just one season, with 10 episodes of absolute madness. The star cast boasts of Daniel Bruhl, Dakota Fanning, Luke Evans among others. 2. Manhunt Unabomber. For the uninitiated, the Unabomber was a domestic terrorist, Ted Kaczynski, who was a mathematical prodigy but left all that to live a more primitive life. Kaczynski is reported to have been involved in multiple incidents of bombings targeting university professors and the likes for 17 years. Three. Hannibal. A bit underrated and perhaps a tad slow for most, but this is a must-watch for the fans of the books at least. Mads Mikkelsen plays a much more sober yet modern version of Dr. Hannibal Lecter. He is accompanied by his patient, a young criminal profiler for the FBI, Will Graham, played by Hugh Dancy. 4. Dark. You will need to switch on the English subs for this one. Set in a German town, this is a family saga with a supernatural twist. The sudden disappearance of 2 young children exposes the relationships between 4 families and the dark secrets of the town. 5. Safe. The plot revolves around the life of Dr. Tom Delaney, played by Dexter's Michael C. Hall. Delaney is a recently widowed pediatric surgeon with 2 daughters who are still struggling to cope with the death of their mother due to cancer. Things get worse when one of them goes missing, and in her pursuit, Delaney discovers secrets that he never knew existed. 6. Penny Dreadful. Sir Malcolm Murray, a British explorer, Ethan Chandler, a gunslinger from America, Victor Frankenstein, and medium Vanessa Ives unite their efforts to fight against supernatural forces in Victorian London. The show draws from a lot of supernatural pop culture across the world but keeps it focused around British and Irish Gothic fiction, such as Dorian Gray, Frankenstein, Abraham Van Helsing, and even Dracula. 7. Sense8. The plot revolves around 8 kids born from different parts of the world who realize that they are psychics who can connect with each other. They get together to find out the mystery that binds their life together, and it all goes to shit from there. 8. Tabula Rasa. The show is about a young woman suffering from amnesia, who gets involved in a missing person case. The problem is, however, her amnesiac condition, due to which she has to depend on her loved ones to tell her what happened. The question that needs to be asked is, can she trust them? 9. Broadchurch. The murder of a child in a coastal town generated unusual media attention, which brings in 2 investigators whose presence disturbs the usual peace of the region as they go around unveiling the mysteries of the town. And if that isn't enough, know that one of them is David Tennant. Case closed. 10. Luther. Idris Elba plays the role of a near-genius detective with anger issues. He gets a mysterious message that forces him to confront the horrors of his past. Add a killer with a gruesome murder spree and you have a perfect cop show on your hands. 11. Mindhunter. In 1979, when the term serial killers had not been coined, two FBI agents, Holden Ford and Bill Tench, devised a controversial way to profile potential killers and catch deviant killers on a spree. They decide to take the help of established serial killers in prison to understand their psyche. They interview some of the most notorious serial killers in history, such as Ed Kemper, Monty Ralph Russell, Jerry Brudos, Richard Speck, among others. 12. Orphan Black. When Sarah Manning, a con artist, witnesses the suicide of a woman, Beth Childs, she realizes that they are doppelgangers and assumes the latter's identity and lives her life as a police detective. All goes to shit when she realizes that there are more people who look exactly like her. 13. Making a Murderer. Stephen Avery spent 20 years in jail for a crime he did not commit. Following his exoneration, he sued Manitowoc County, Wisconsin and several other people involved in his arrest. Shortly after, he finds himself behind bars again for the murder of a 25-year-old photographer, Teresa Halbach, who was last seen on his property. 14. Jack Taylor. Based on books written by Ken Bruin, Jack Taylor is a former detective who lost his job with the Irish police for assaulting a politician. So he starts working as a private investigator and reluctantly takes on cases that the police ignores. 15. The Keepers. This docuseries focuses on the murder of Kathy Sesnick, a nun and Catholic high school teacher in Baltimore. Sesnick's body was found 20 years later after she disappeared on November 7, 1969. But to this day, the killer hasn't been caught. The story revolves around accusations of sexual abuse against the school's chaplain, who, when accused by a student, allegedly took her to the place of Sesnick's then undiscovered corpse and threatened her. Hope you guys like the video, like, subscribe and share for more entertainment.